Before we talk about the ETF and the stocks within it, here's what you have to know about the industry itself. The global space economy was valued at around $420 billion. Meanwhile, companies like Bank of America have made statements that they expect the space industry to triple to around $1.4 trillion market cap within just a decade. If that wasn't enough, once the rockets we use get advanced enough, we may see asteroid mining become a huge part of our economy. Even relatively small metallic asteroids may contain trillions worth of industrial and precious metals like platinum. And bigger asteroids like 16 Psyche could contain enough precious metals to cover the world's metal needs for millions of years. At current market prices, the rare raw materials alone would be worth quadrillions of dollars. All right, so let's invest in the future of space exploration. So that's what we're going to be talking about today and how you can invest in it as well. So the first thing that I want you to note are the companies that are in this space that you probably aren't familiar with. Obviously, you can look at Virgin Galactic and say, well, they're the ones that are predominantly in the public, kind of like the frontier of the space race that are, not a private company. And all of these companies are actually public companies as well, just not as sought after as Virgin Galactic because they're the ones kind of making the headlines, especially as of late. So Trimble 3D printing companies, Kratos, L3 Harris, JD.com, Komatsu, Lockheed Martin, Iridium, Thales, and Boeing as well. And the reason why you see the percentages here is because the company that I actually wanted to officially talk about is an ETF by ARK Invest, which is the RKX ETF. And so the top 10 holdings within that ETF are actually these stocks. And the reason why I'm mentioning these stocks, not just because they're the top 10 holdings, but more specifically, I'm mentioning this ETF and their top 10 holdings because ARK Invest makes sure and researches the top most innovative stocks in a particular sector. And they believe that these are those stocks when it comes to space exploration, and they're not wrong. I mean, I'm personally invested in some of these companies on their own outside of the ETF, specifically for the opportunity to be invested in the space industry. Now, the price, and this is obviously, I made this a couple days ago, so the price has varied since, but the price for this is around $20 per share. It might be a little bit less, it might be a little bit more at the time you're watching this. The median market cap is around $30 billion for the stocks that are in the ETF, and the expense ratio is 0.75, so nothing too crazy. So whether or not you want to invest in individual stocks or if you want to just buy a broad ETF, I personally love the ARKX ETF by ARK Invest, and I've put a decent amount of money into this ETF. And I've also made some videos in my top stocks to buy playlist of some of the companies that I've purchased, and some of them are actually in this list as well, especially when we're talking about the 3D printing space, because that will be a huge and integrative part of making this industry a lot cheaper to explore, which is why 3D printing companies are a 6.1% or, the number 2 spot when it comes to their top 10 holdings of this ETF. Now, a few of my other favorite ones are Lockheed Martin, Kratos, and JD.com. I'm invested in all of those. I bought Boeing back when it dipped below $200, so I'm sitting nicely there. The other companies, like I said, I'm not personally invested into, but by owning ARK X, I do own these companies as well, and I might actually end up buying shares as time goes on, especially if I can get these companies at a discount. Now, if you'd like me to do a video on any of these stocks, remember I do stock analysis on the channel and I help you be more knowledgeable about your investment decisions. So if you want me to do a deep dive on any of these companies, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to do a video on these companies.